General MacArthur drops a atomic bomb.
All right, starting on turn 7 for the Allies, the United States is buying 2 destroyers, 2 transports, and 2 infantry. Gotta make up for losing those other 2 transports from last turn. NATO is buying 3 heavy tanks, 3 normal tanks, and 2 Gloucester jet fighters. SATO is buying 3 mechanized infantry divisions, 1 airborne, 1 transport aircraft, and the U.S. Pacific is buying 2 heavy tanks, a mechanized, and 2, I think it's airborne? Yeah, no, 3 airborne divisions. Going over into the attacks, the Allies are going to attempt to take back Holland, Belgium with the task force, though 2 of these destroyers are hanging back because they are being threatened by the Soviet cruiser down here. Actually, you know what? Actually, I think I'm going to leave all 3 destroyers back, so I'm actually going to take that, replace that. That 1 American destroyer right there should be able to hold its own. So they're going to go and take that. NATO is going to try a sneaky maneuver. They're going to try and get in, force the strait, and land in the Ukraine because, and I'm sure a couple people will get this reference, the Ukraine is weak, it's feeble, it's just waiting to be conquered. And then over in the Pacific, the United States is going to attempt an airborne assault and ground invasion to capture Beijing. And we'll have to see how that goes. Oh, and down here, SATO is going to take Myanmar and move forces into North Indochina. America did attempt a diplomacy roll for Ulaanbaatar. However, they rolled a 4, so they failed. So we'll get through the round. We'll roll the dice, and we'll see how it all works out in the end. All right, so wrapping up attacks in turn 7. The Allies were able to liberate Holland and Belgium and constituted the U.S. Third Army with NATO forces attached to it. NATO was able to make it through the straits unharmed and landed an armor and an infantry here in the Ukraine. SATO has moved into Myanmar and taken North Vietnam, or I shall say liberated North Vietnam from the communists. And in the north, though bloody, the Americans were able to grab Beijing. So now we'll have to see how, so we'll deploy the forces and have to try and see what the communists attempt to do to try and get it back. So at the end of turn 7, everyone has deployed the Allies have deployed their forces. Just kind of taking a look at the map, getting their reinforcements forward, getting their troops into place. Was having a conversation with my buddy Airsoft Commando, and we're kind of thinking if the communists can't turn things around by the end of turn 8, they might actually be the ones on the losing end. I mean, they were doing great. They were doing fantastic in the first part, but just bad rolls in the end, I think. Bad rolls at the end just seems to have gotten the better of the Soviets this time. I mean, like I said, they came close. They came so close to winning, but I think this might be it. So we'll do turn 8, and I think after turn 8, we're at the end of turn 8, it'll be the end of the game. I think it's pretty obvious. It's looking pretty obvious that the Allies will come out on top by the end of turn 8. So we'll move on to turn 8.